On my way home from mega camp at the end of last year, I was in a TSA line with, well, dozens of you guys and from Keller Williams on our way homes to our respective cities and states. But one of the people that I ran into in the TSA line was a former team leader of mine, Andrea Wright, down in Georgia, and we were, hugging and talking. And she was also introducing me to a new coach in our organization. She said, "Oh my gosh, I've told her so much about you." I was telling her about how you've really curated your life. And I was really struck by that phrase. And I asked her, "What do you mean by that? That's such an interesting way of saying it." She said, "Well, I just see you as someone who has really shifted and changed and grown intentionally in the way that you live your life. And it's really admirable. And it's something I think about when I think about you." And I got to tell you, I was touched. I mean, we're now in January and I'm still thinking about this from August. Um, and the more I thought about it, the more I really appreciate her saying that because I do believe that it's true. We talk a lot about a life by design and not by default. And I think that she's basically saying this in a whole nother way. This week, I celebrated 16 years of sobriety, of continuous recovery and sobriety. And I don't take that lightly. That is an incredible accomplishment. And it has truly set up the basis for the rest of my entire life. Every decision I've made, every ability that I've had to grow and develop has been due to that one decision I made back January 9th, 2009. Um, but that was one small decision that accumulated a lifetime of decisions over a long period of time, right? My life did not become magically better because I decided to quit using drugs and alcohol. In fact, it got a heck of a lot worse in some regards before it got better, because I was completely broken down and had to rebuild. Um, Other small decisions that though have led to the life that I have today, I can trace back to that first step, such as, the beautiful, amazing home that I have. And by home, I don't mean the house that I'm living in. I mean the environment that I live in with my husband and the life that we're creating together and the laughter and the joy and the supportiveness that we have. This wasn't my first marriage either. And the first marriage that I had did not feel this way at all. And this isn't my first career path, right? The time that I spent as a realtor, which I'm very grateful for it, and I learned a ton. I did not live the way that I live as a coach, the way that I lived as a realtor. As a realtor, I lived the way that I coach against. I coach against living from hustle and bustle and from one thing on to the next and never looking over my shoulder and appreciating the work that I've done. I lived constantly concerned that I was going to lose what I had and not get what I wanted. I lived with trying to prove to everyone else that I was worthy rather than defining a life that was important and significant to me. And so these small decisions that I've made, starting with my sobriety 16 years ago, next with the marriage that was for show and not for my heart, and then on to making career decisions that actually fulfill me, whether not because it's the most lucrative thing I could have done, but because it's the thing that gives me the life that I want to live. These are all small decisions that snowball on themselves. So when you think about the life that you want and you think about the decisions that you've made, a couple things to keep in mind. One, you can screw up and make a new decision. I was a drug addict for years and years and years and made a decision to not live that way anymore. I married the wrong person and for years and years and years stuck with that person until finally it was revealed that I needed to move on. I was a hustle culture junkie and was constantly on to the next one before I made the decision that I was going to relish the work that I have, but not consistently be on the hamster wheel of more, right? I also think it's important to remember the old adage that's in the MREA book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, that says you will overestimate what you can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what you can accomplish in five. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, my own personal anecdote, my own evidence, you are only 5 years away from whatever life it is that you're choosing to live. And so here at the beginning of the year, with a whole new fresh year out ahead of you, pause and consider, where do I want to be 5 years from now? What's that one small thing that I need to decide to do now to bring myself one step closer to being that person 5 years from now? Happy 16 years to me. Happy New Year to the rest of you guys. See you soon.